You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view.
Sir?
Till you climb inside of his skin and walk around in it.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Lee Cowan.
That's Gregory Peck, of course, with Mary Badham in To Kill a Mockingbird, the classic film adaptation of Harper Lee's beloved novel. Well, now that tale has made it to Broadway, where it's serving as a masterclass in tolerance for school children of today. Tracy Smith has saved us a seat.
The defendant is not guilty, but somebody in this courtroom is.
If you know anything about To Kill a Mockingbird, you know that there are some mighty big shoes to fill.
The defendant isn't guilty, but someone in this building is.
Your Honor.
And maybe no one knows that better than Jeff Daniels, the guy who puts on that light-colored suit and becomes Atticus Finch in the Broadway play each night.
He feels sorry for us. He doesn't know his place. He's forgotten who he is.
If I were taking on a role that Gregory Peck made famous, I might be a little insecure about that. Did you have any doubt?
I didn't.
No.
And I think it's the age. I think I've been around long enough to, if you want challenges, then this is a great one.
But to always remember it was a sin to kill a mockingbird.
The play, of course, is based on Harper Lee's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel about racism in the Deep South, an innocent black man on trial for his life in front of a bigoted jury.
Tom Robinson said exactly what he meant. In fact,
Most people read Mockingbird in middle school. And if you ever pass through Harper Lee's hometown of Monroeville, Alabama, you'll see her book immortalized in the hands of a young schoolgirl. But now, Broadway producers are putting their play in kids' hands as well.
Thank you.
Ever since it opened last December, the production has offered tickets to New York City public school kids for only $10 a head. So now thousands of students have seen the play, and the reaction is pretty much universal.
One-word review of the play. We're going to go around.
I have 2 words.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Perfect execution.
Life-changing.
Fode?
I would say life lesson.
Motivation.
Meaningful.
They say that which does not kill you makes you stronger.
But even with 8 shows a week, the cast has found time to hit the road.
Tom Robinson's gonna plead guilty and take it.
Earlier this month, some of them played to a few hundred teens and VIPs at the Library of Congress.
Times have changed.
You sure about that?
And just last week, the cast showed up at a Bronx middle school class where students were studying the book. Kind of a teacher's dream come true.
Nice Atticus, by the way. Nicely done. I wish I had your haircut.
How did your family feel about getting the role, your role?
My family, they knew it was a big deal. I mean, to play Atticus Finch, he's one of the great fictional American heroes. And to play it on Broadway, and the Schubert Theater is considered the Carnegie Hall of Broadway. And the whole family could see that this was a big deal for Dad.
It was also kind of a big deal for playwright Aaron Sorkin, and he felt it.
To Kill a Mockingbird was voted the most loved book in America.
Yeah, that was an easing of the pressure.
Were you worried that you'd mess it up?
Of course.
Passive measures.
Sorkin describes his work as a quarter turn of a wrench, slight adjustments that make the story more relevant today, like expanding the roles of African-American characters and making Atticus a bit more human.
I want to know what it did to make you angry.
If I was angry, you'd know it.
I do know it. That's exactly why I am.
You and the producers have made a point of making sure that school kids see this play. Why? Why is it so important?
I'm not looking to replace the book in any way. I think that there's more to this discussion than the discussion that at least I had when I first read the book, which is just a rudimentary discussion of race, justice, and equality in the Jim Crow South. And it's exactly the kind of conversation that you want students and teachers having.
Now, at the same time, you're also opening the doors to people who could be some of your biggest critics.
Sure, but that's the cost of doing business, right? We knew that we were going to be hearing about it. No one cared. We all believed in what we were doing. We were ready to take whatever punishment was coming our way, and it didn't come.
In fact, the play is setting box office records. And for the kids anyway, it's a lot more than entertainment.
Do you think other kids should see this?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
I feel like it should give kids at a younger age a perspective of how life was back then. I feel like even if they're young, it will help them understand of how they want their life to be and help them develop their morals for the future in their lives.
You think you can get that out of this play?
Yes, definitely.
That's great.
Yes.
It felt like every kind of line said was like a message, like everything was purposeful, everything was just a perfect like symphony of messages and lessons and, you know, things to understand in your own life.
Hi girls, how are you?
For the cast, the student matinees have been an adjustment. Jeff Daniels says young audiences are a bit more spirited.
But the reactions, the kids' reactions, are completely different places than last night. You won't hear a word I say.
Because the kids...
Whoa, 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 yeah, oh, ooh.
I mean, it's 1,400 people doing that.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool. There's some talking and there's some this and that, but when it comes time to, they're in it.
They're in it all right. A new generation inspired by a story that never seems to get old.
In the name of God, just let them go home.
I think that like To Kill a Mockingbird is almost like a demand for justice because it shows how unjust the situation was. And I think that it's so relevant because like the fight is never ending now. Like we need to continue fighting.